the workings of the machinery of government. I have seen how civil service works. I have also been in the non-governmental space. I have worked in that area, and so I bring in these two different aspects to merge with my experiences and my know-how of what it takes to get the job done. And I see a lot of areas for improvement to bring Kaduna to the place for which Kaduna is meant to be, the greater Kaduna state that will benefit the people of Kaduna state. And one of the primary responsibilities of government is to ensure that the welfare and the security of the people.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Adams Ishaku. And why should I be voted for as governor of Kaduna State? You see, I am a product of Kaduna State Public Health Sector, Kaduna State Public Educational Sector. I know what it takes to lack. I know what it takes to be in one. I grew up as a child. I sponsored myself through secondary school and the university. So, if we're looking for changes, I think I stand a better chance to give us the change based on my personal experiences. And I believe I have what it takes. Kaduna State is in dear need of a leader who will change the narratives for her. And I am here. I am looking forward to being given the opportunity to serve my people. Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidate of the APC. Next, we move on to candidate of the NMPP, gubernatorial candidate for Kaduna State. You have 1 minute.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me?
Morning.
Okay, good evening, sorry. I am Ambassador of Dadi Mazu. I'm a member of the NPP. Why I think I should be voted is I have passed through some capacity of leadership. I'm once a student, the SLC vice president, my institution, and I have served as the associate president, which is Social Science Association of Nigeria President School, and where I also outside school I am the Bauchi Youth Religious Advocacy Bauchi State Coordinator, and apart from those capacities, I have zeal for improving Kaduna State, where I have some vision like the infrastructure development, the industrialization, then agricultural revitalizations, and also healthcare facilities and others.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates of the NMPP. Finally, we go to candidates of the PDP, gubernatorial candidate for Kaduna State. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Ablayat Isa Aminu, and I am contesting for the governorship of Kaduna State. So what I have here with me is that as a medical professional and a politician also.
Can I ask what your video is off?
I'm sorry, I have, we don't have light at the moment. Can I continue?
Lisa, let him proceed. Production proceed.
Please go ahead.
Please acknowledge that in his time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Edie.
As I was saying, I have diverse experience in politics and civic engagement. So I have with me 11 key pillars that I believe can prosper Kaduna State to the level of infrastructure and hello, can you hear me, please?
We can hear you. Proceed.
Thank you, sir. As I was saying, as a Kaduna State governor, I envision Kaduna State to the level of peaceful and infrastructured community as a governor.
Your time is up.
All right. Thank you, candidate of the PDP. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidates for Anambra State. And we'll start with the candidate of the APC.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm running for, I'm the governorship candidate for Anambra State for APC. Currently, I believe the current state of Anambra is blessed with vast natural resources and also human potential. Anambra is a very urban state with population close to that of Lagos State. But I believe the current Anambra State is underutilizing the potential that they have. As somebody who have an experience in the education sector and in social entrepreneurship, I believe I have what it takes to harness the potentials that is in Anambra State, to harness the natural potential and also the human potentials. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, candidate of the APC. Next, we move on to candidate of the LP, gubernatorial candidate, Anambra State.
Okay, good evening. My name is Aniwata Charles Ifeanyi, and I'm running for governorship of Anambra State. I believe strongly that I am the best candidate for this position simply because as a bona fide citizen of Anambra State, I know what it takes to harness the potentials in Anambra State. And I have the capacity, the vision, and all it takes to make Anambra State great again. I believe my administration will bring about a positive change in different sectors of the economy so that the Anambra State will be great again, to take Anambra State to a higher level. My wealth of knowledge in area of administration puts me as the best candidate for that position. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, candidate of the LP. Next, we move on to candidate of the PDP, gubernatorial candidate, Anambra State.
Thank you very much. My name is Olakosegun Samuel, candidate of the PDP.
Please, can you be more audible?
Anambra governorship in nation. I believe I'm the best candidate for this position because of my vast experience in governance. I currently work with an organization that tracks government projects and ensure accountability and transparency. So I have this knowledge what it takes to have a good governance. I have the experience of what it takes for a government to do what is right, to stand by its people and do the needful for the community. I also have experience with working with different international organizations like MasterCard and the likes. So I've worked in this space, and I believe bringing all this experience together, I'll be able to contribute my quota excellently to development of Anambra State. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Finally, for the gubernatorial candidates, we have the candidate of the NMPP for Anambra State. Candidate of the NMPP, please unmute. You have the co-host. Lovely, now you have. Okay, seems the candidate of the NMPP for Anambra State is unavailable, even though she's on the call and her hands are raised and she has co-host function. I don't know what the issue is. So next we move on to the presidential candidates. We'll start with the presidential candidate of the APC. You have 1 minute.
My name is Umar Abubakar Sadiq, the presidential candidate of APC. I am running for the president of the most populous black race in the world. We're running under the mantra of restored hope. It is a beacon of promise, reviving the aspirations of a nation. It is a call to action, uniting citizens towards common goal and renewed faith and determination. We want to rebuild, restore, and revitalize our communities, our states, and the nation entirely to the enviable states that Nigeria as a nation deserves. The wealth of experience I bring on board is I've been the administrator of Hayik International School, one of the biggest private schools in Kaduna State for 15 years. I believe with that experience that I'll be able to manage and harness human and material resources, I am the best man for the job. Restore hope, once again, is the mantra. Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidate of the APC. Next, candidate of the Labour Party, presidential candidate of the Labour Party.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Precious Ibuoye. I'm the presidential candidate for the Labour Party in the upcoming election. And I'm running for this office with the mantra building the future now. Nigeria is a country that has so many potential, so many resources, and we as upon coming as an administration, we hope to begin to take practical steps that can help in shaping the Nigeria that we want, not just Nigeria that we just only envision in our head, but coming with a leadership that wants to bring what is in our head into reality. And I've been able to develop myself, being a student of politics, studying political science in the institution, and still further in political science. I've been able to equip myself with the necessary skill sets that will help us bring this vision into reality. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next, we move on to the presidential candidates of the NNPP.
Good evening, fellow citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yes, we can.
My name is Honorable Muhammad Saleh Isa, a proud Nigerian from Gombe State. I humbly present myself for service as the presidential candidate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the platform of New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, in the upcoming general election. I'm privileged to be joined by my visionary female running mate, Honorable Janet Madufo from Lagos State. Together, we are driven by a shared purpose to serve the Nigerian people and lead this nation toward a brighter and more prosperous future. As a public servant, a policy analyst, and activist, I've engaged with Nigerians, and based on experience, Nigerians are yearning and praying for a change. I'm contesting for this position to bring transformative leadership, unite our diverse nation, and ensure prosperity for all. My vision is to tackle corruption, insecurity, and revitalize our economy. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Finally, we have the last presidential candidate. Please go ahead. Candidates of the PDP. Yes.
Yeah, good evening. I am Majai Babajdi. I'll be running for the president under the platform of PDP of this great country. We have about 4 agenda. One is insecurity. The nation has actually been running on a data of 39% on a global group insecurity, and which we are meant to change. On our health level, we are just 4% globally. and which we also can change that. Education, we have about 20 million out of school children, which is poor enough for peace nation, and which we want to also change that as a nation collaboratively. Our economic strength is standing on 0.2%, which is not acceptable as based on our strength. Our core value, my core value is on integrity, transparency, and accountability. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much. Edie, we've gone through the first question.
Okay, as we've gone around, Lisa, there'll be new rules in this now. The next question I ask will be for 6. Once those 6 are done, I would ask another question for the next 6. So the question for the first 6, Lisa, you pick the first 6. So the question for the first 6, considering that most states can survive without FAC allocations, and high recurrent expenditures are constant in Nigeria's polity, whether it is federal or the state. And Lisa, I don't want you to pick based on governors and presidents. Pick randomly. President or governor, pick anyone randomly.
All right, okay.
Okay, so what would you be doing as governor or president to fix this disparity? Because a lot of states or Nigeria itself has to survive on loans or FAC allocations to meet up its current expenditure. What would you be doing in position to achieve this? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Edie. We'll start with the gubernatorial candidates for Anambra State for Labour Party. Please answer the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, what I will do is to tighten my internally generated revenues. I believe so much that because Anambra State, as we speak now, has a lot of potentials that are yet to be harnessed. And if we can tighten up with our internal generated revenue, we will have a lot of resources to meet up with our internal demand. Then the little allocation that will be coming to Anambra State, we'll use it as well to augment with what we have. Basically, we will not depend on federal allocation, rather we will depend on our internally generated revenue. And how can we do this? We can do that by putting mechanisms to help us to generate tax, because I believe that no government survive where. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we go on to the presidential candidate of PDP. Please answer the question.
Okay, so on my end, there will be debt restructuring. We can negotiate with creditors on that basis on how we can have a long-term payment plan. Also, I can also look at our internally generated revenue, where we can increase our manpower, like entrepreneurial skill, double up on what we make internally. Diversification can also help in this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we go on to the gubernatorial candidate of NNPP, Kaduna State.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. If we can't hear you,
I would like to invite hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. If we can't
now?
hear you, spend half your time talking. We can't hear you. Can we hear you? If we can't hear you, we'll tell you.
All right, sorry. I think I will invite entrepreneurs, maybe business, or maybe let me say like bring in investors, foreign investors, where we can have marketers where it will bring employment and it will generate money for us. Then I will bring some, we'll make a tax reform where we'll implement fair, progressive tax system that will reduce reliable loan and ensuring we have those loans will contribute, those revenues will contribute to the states. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, presidential candidate of the APC, please answer the same question.
Economic growth is part of our Restored Hope mantra. The strategies we'll use is one, restoration of moribund industries. Take, for instance, Kaduna State used to be a viable state when it comes to textiles way back. We will make sure that we restore those industries that are moribund. We will invest in infrastructure, develop human capital, as well as we'll look into what our IGR, not with the aim of just paying salaries, but an IGR that can cater for what? For development of states, so that they will not be more dependent on on the federal government. So these are key strategies we'll be using to ensure we get this done. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidate of Anambra, PDP.
Right, thank you very much. If I have the opportunity to become the governor of Anambra State, we know that one of the problems we have in the country as a whole is we rely so much on the central money. Let's cut and share the money. But what I would do differently is we generate our own income. We grow our GDP. And how do we do that? We do this by partnering with other businesses locally, and also we increase our exports. Nigeria generally depends so much on imported goods. That's what is killing us majorly. So what I will do is we try as much as possible to grow our people, develop our people in business, and ensure that we grow the business and we export more. We will not depend on importation, but we will develop our people to export. Also, Anambra State have about 300 to 400 kilometers of coastal line. We can use this for
time up.
For aquaculture. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And finally, the last person for this round of questions, the gubernatorial candidate for Kaduna State, Labour Party.
For me, we will first reduce our recurrent expenditure. We'll look at where it's practicable, and then we will set up an economic advisory team that will advise the state on the way to go about building the necessary things that is needed to boost our economy. We have other places we can diversify, like the mining sector, the agriculture, which we are the largest producers of maize in the country. As at 2022, we put that at number 1, and therefore we will build on that to have improved seedlings, release fertilizer on time for farmers. We are also going to ensure that we have some hectares of land that we designated in local government for large-scale farming, where government can enhance it and use it and build secondary products from this maize that will give us more revenue to the state. And then we will look at how we can reduce our debt profile. Currently, we have about 460 billion naira debt profile at 31st of December. We will see how we can ensure that stays at
your time is.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next round.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Next round of questions will be, and goes as follows: security vested in the executive. Nigeria has a security problem, both presidential and in common states. For states like Anambra, which have IPOB and the issue in southern Kaduna, I would like you to clearly expatiate whether the presidential or gubernatorial candidates, how you're going to hope to mitigate these issues. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Idi. We'll start with the presidential candidate of Labour Party. Please answer the question.
Yes, concerning security in Nigeria, that's one of our paramount agenda as as running for this office, security is my third agenda. And when it comes to security and this issue of IPOB, specifically in Anambra State and another part of the country with a diverse problem, one of the things that we will do is to see how to, first speak with the governors of those states. Let's understand the root cause of this particular problem and then begin to put in measures of how we can begin to solve this problem. For example, if the issue has to do with lack of adequate security personnel, like for example in Anambra State, there are not enough security personnel. One of the things that we'll do is to deploy more armed forces into the states to see how we can make security even more better in the state. If, for example, the issue has to do with the morale and motivation of these armed forces, what is best for us to do is that we encourage these people to give them the necessary support. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, presidential candidates of the Labour Party. Next, we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, NNPP. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Lovely for her. The main aspects I will be using to tackle the issue of insecurity is by creating a friendly atmosphere between the community members and the law enforcement agency. By so doing, I will also create a community-friendly policing, whereby everybody have to be at alert and report any suspected or suspicious movements to the police. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidate for Kaduna State, PDP candidate.
Thank you very much. Looking at the issue of Kaduna State as one of the epicenter of violence in Nigeria. So, as the governor of Kaduna State, I have some key strategies I think that can end violence and riots in Kaduna State. One of my strategies is like a negotiation with the hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So, as a Kaduna State governor, I intend to meet with the community leaders and negotiate, and also empower or like create a community guard that can.
All right, thank you. Next, we move on to presidential candidate of the NNPP.
Thank you so much. You can all believe with me that the primary responsibility of government is to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. As a presidential candidate, when elected, there are a lot of things I'll bring on board. It is there in my policy document that our Nigerian military, paramilitary, and police are not enough. So the first thing I will do is that my administration will recruit, train, and equip more of these security personnel. We will create special forces unit to tackle the fight against corruption, to fight against insecurity, banditry, and insurgency. We will also collaborate with neighboring countries and secure our borders to combat or eliminate the illegal importation of weapons for criminal. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidates for Anambra State, candidates of the PDP. Okay, I beg your pardon. That's not a question. Candidate of the APC, you had answered earlier.
All right, thank you for that question. And honestly, Anambra State has been one of the states that are plagued with recurrent security issues. And having understood that most times security issues come up as a result of a particular group of the state or of the nation feeling marginalized and all that. So as the governor of Anambra State, I would ensure that I am charismatic about the unity of the state and the oneness of the country. And I'll also make sure that I am bold enough to go head out to punish as many as people who are fomenting violence in the country, just like the president of El Salvador was so bold enough to address the crime in their country, and he had success. So I believe the reason why we have current security issues is because leaders are not confident enough to address this issue. They're not bold enough to do it. So I'll be a very different governor. I would preach the unity and the oneness, but as well, I will be very strict on punishing every offender, everyone who decides to destabilize the state. I will also organize a yearly cultural event, just like the first step, just to celebrate our unity, to show that everyone is marginalized in my state and everybody is carried along. I think with this, be able to address, the recurrent security issues in Anambra State. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, we have candidates of the PDP for Kaduna State for this question. Please go ahead.
I think I have answered already.
Okay. That's candidate of the APC then.
Okay. Thank you for this question. Protecting lives and properties is one of my top priorities in this campaign. Now, I have 3 things I want to do to improve security. Now, one thing I will do is improve security infrastructure. I have to develop and maintain critical security infrastructure, including the police stations, the courts, and then the correctional facilities we have. Number 2, I will establish community policing. Establish community policing initiatives to promote community involvement in security and crime prevention. Number 3, I'll promote interagency collaboration. Foster collaboration between security agencies to improve intelligence gathering and sharing. Lastly, I want to create events that foster relationship between people. Example could be sport. When we are watching, you can bear witness that whenever we are playing a match as Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. We're done with the round of questions.
Thank you. So we're not making this debate long because you are quite a lot. So if I pass another set of questions. So now I'm going to ask you in 1 minute, tell us why you're better than the people running against you. Note, you cannot use any snide remarks which we find insulting, but tell us why you're better than everyone else running for your position. And this last question for this debate, and then we'll close it up and look forward to elections. So Lisa, you have the manager to choose who goes first. You have 1 minute. Just tell us why you're better.
All right, Edie, thank you. We'll start with the presidential candidate of APC.
Okay, thank you so much. I am better because, as I said from the opening, that I am a product of the public sector, Umar,
hello. Yeah, I think they said presidential, not gubernatorial.
All right, sorry about that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Adams. Yes, we came prepared because we have the policy document under the mantra, restored hope. It is a beacon of hope. We want to restore, rebuild, revitalize. We are well prepared for this job. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidate of Kaduna State, candidate of the Labour Party.
All right, I think I'm suited for this job, or why I should be voted, because I bring extensive experience, mentorship from the best of the best, and I have been in the thick and thin of things. I have worked in the emergency service agency, so I know what the insecurity issues are. I know the dynamics involved, and I know what it takes. I know that I have know-how. I have a team of people that already constituted, that will give advice, that will bring the best that Kaduna can be at this point in time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, candidate of the APC.
All right, thank you. So having listened to my other competitors, I believe I'm more qualified than them, because Anambra as a state is blessed with rich natural gas, but yet it's plagued with the issue of bad electricity. Anambra is still suffering, there's no electricity. And I believe that having the experience in education, entrepreneurship, and leadership, these three things are powerful tools to building a great nation, building a great community, a great state. And I have strong and deep experience in this area. So I believe I'm very qualified to enhance both the natural and the human capacity of Anambra State, building that state to become a hub of entrepreneurship, a hub of creativity, and a hub of quality education. I believe a state that is, built on quality education, see lives developed and see the state developed.
Time is up.
And all right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next we move on to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Precious.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, in 1 minute. So according to section 130, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, the Constitution says that there shall be for a federation president, and this was making me coming out to present myself as president under the umbrella of the Labour Party. And I believe that Nigeria we as leaders in Nigeria, we have the vision, and what is then needed as of this moment is for us to bring that vision into reality. The elders have the vision. Let the young people bring it into reality. So I'm presenting myself as a smart, as a young and innovative leader to bring the vision that we have for our Nigeria, that we've all envisioned, to bring it into reality, and let's build the Nigeria that we want now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to gubernatorial candidate of Kaduna State for the NMPP.
He said you should unmute him.
Okay. You've been unmuted, Abdul Hadi.
All right, thank you, Ma. As a candidate of governorship of Kaduna State, I think I'm better than other candidates, as I'm committed to addressing the unique challenges facing our state, which my vision is to build around three core pillars, which is the economic empowerment, social justice, and governance, where we will be creating jobs, stimulating local economics, and attracting investment to economic empowerment, and social justice, where I said that it will be about ensuring equal opportunities and access to resources for all citizens, not just single citizens, where everyone will have equal rights. Then good governance, which would involve transparency, accountability, and citizen participation. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, candidate of the Labour Party.
Okay, thank you very much. I strongly believe that I am the best for this job, simply because my administration were hinged in making Anambra State great again. And how can we achieve this? We have 4-point agenda to achieve this mission. And this 4-point agenda is based on economic empowerment, social justice, security and public safety, and environmental sustainability. So I strongly believe that if we should be able to achieve and implement policies that will run through this agenda, Anambra State would be great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, we move on to the presidential candidate of NNPP, Muhammad Saleh.
Thank you, Ma. I'm confident that I'm best among equal for being proactive. Because during my campaign, my manifesto during campaign, were not just rhetoric or empty promises. I developed a comprehensive policy document.
Are you there? Is it just me?
No, I can't hear him too.
I think he's having a challenge, like his network from his end.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I should come back.
Please go ahead.
Wrap up.
Okay, I said I am best among equal for being so proactive to produce a comprehensive policy document, which I title as a transformative agenda for a new Nigeria that reflects the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of Nigerians. So my manifestos are not just rhetoric or empty promises, but a written document with a strategic plan to implement all our agendas. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Anambra, candidate of the PDP. Olabako, are you here? Okay. I've asked you to unmute.
All right, thank you very much. I think I'm the best candidate for this position because of the development agenda that I'm bringing to the table, to the state. First, I want to develop the GDP of the state. That's my primary concern. I want to move Anambra State from consuming state to producing state. We will try and develop our people to start exporting. Also, we will provide funds for businesses. We will give them the fund, they bring the expertise, and we make Anambra State a very great state in Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Next, we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Kaduna State, the APC candidate.
Okay, I feel what we need is somebody who is strong-willed, who is determined, and who is resilient to actually tackle the job, not by experiences. We've had so many people who have the experience, but then they keep taking us back as if we never take a step. So I think I am fit because I know I am strong-willed. I know I am focused. I know I am determined to give in Kaduna State the best it ever would want. So Kaduna State, if you want to have a better state, if you want to have a better government, I am here for the job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we move on to the presidential candidate of PDP. Please go ahead.
Okay, so imagine someone who is people-centric, you can approach anytime and ask questions, who is less emotional and more pragmatic and realist, someone with a wider partnership drive with his team and robust network, and that is me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, we move on to the gubernatorial candidate of Anambra, candidate of the NNPP.
Good evening, everybody. I believe I'm the best candidate for the gubernatorial seat of Anambra because I strongly have the urge to work on economic development by creating jobs to end thuggery, also improving the security through community policing, victim support, and criminal justice. Through the economic development, I aim to create job opportunities through investment in agriculture and small-scale industries. Also, investment incentives, offer incentives to attract local and foreign investors, such as tax breaks, subsidies, and streamlines. So if all these things are put in place, I believe Anambra will be better. And if Anambra wants a progressive leadership.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, gubernatorial candidate for Kaduna State, candidate of the PDP.
Thank you very much. And as an advocate for good governance, politician, and active citizens with vast experience in key roles, I believe I possesses the expertise to drive transformative changes in Kaduna State. So my visions prioritizing security and peacekeeping as Kaduna State, one of the epicenter of violence in Nigeria, and also inclusive governance, education, healthcare, infrastructure development, and economic empowerment. So building on achievements like Senator Obasani's contribution to Nigerian banking sector, I will introduce an innovative solution to pressing challenges, ensuring Kaduna's prosperity and citizens' well-being. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're done with all the questions. They all have answered. Thank you, Eddie.
So thank you, everyone. I look forward to an elections tomorrow. Thank you for your participation. I think it's all from us at the Electoral College. Well done on what you did. We look forward to the elections tomorrow, and good luck, every one of you. Thank you, everyone. You have a lovely evening. I'll see you tomorrow at the elections.
Thank you, Eddie. Good night.
Good night, everybody.